Very good evening to you guys. Today we are going to look at the income and expenditure and the receipts and payment account. Okay? Alright, now we can start. Receipts and payments accounts are prepared in types of organizations which are non-profit making. For example, we have organizations like churches, charity organizations, clubs, etc. Those are examples of non-profit making organizations. So these guys would have maybe gathered for a club, maybe for chess or for playing golf. So they are not there to make a profit, as they say, but they're just an organization doing something. So we can only prepare a receipt and payment account if the business doesn't have any assets. I mean, if the organization doesn't have any assets. But the moment the organization has got some asset, we no longer prepare a receipt and payment. We now prepare an income and expenditure account. Okay? Now, I will start with the receipt and payment first, and I will end with the income and expenditure account. So for the receipts and payments, you'd realize that receipts and payments accounts are simply a summary of the cash book for the period. Remember, in a cash book setup, on the debit side, that's where we record whatever was received, and then the payment side, we record whatever was paid for. For an organization with no assets other than cash and no liabilities, a summary of the cash book reviews everything about what has happened financially during that particular period. So we need to look at an example. We need to look at the Havian. Running club. Okay, so we need to look at the receipts and payments account. Receipts and payments okay. So we have received this side, we have payments side. So we'll be having things like a bank balance, $2,360. I can see bank bar 2,360. There's things like subscriptions received. Subscriptions received. That's about 11,408. We have things like rent received. 1,160. And on the payment side, we have things like groundman's wages. Ground wages 7,208. We have things like sports ground rental. Sports ground rental. That's 2,960. 2,960. We have things like committee expenses. Committee expenses, they're about 580. We have things like printing and stationery. Printing and stationery, that's about 330. Last but not least, we have the bank balance. The bank balance is about 3,850. Okay, so if we total this side and total this side, we get 15,000. Here we also get 15,000. Okay, so this is how we enter stuff like that. Now let us move to income and expenditure. Now for the income and expenditure, we are saying in this case we will be having things like assets. So we're going to look at what is known as accumulated fund. So for a sole trader, okay, a capital equals to assets minus liability. But for non-profit making, non-profit making organization, we have what is known as accumulated fund. Accumulated fund equals to assets minus liabilities. Okay, so you should know that for non-profit making organizations, it is not known as capital, it is known as the accumulated fund. Okay, now we want to look at an example whereby we draw up income and expenditure account. Okay, so the question was, the treasurer of Long Lane Football Club has prepared a receipt and payment account, but members have complained about the inadequacy of such an account. She therefore asked an accountant to prepare a trading account for the bar and an income and expenditure account and a balance sheet. The treasurer gives the accountant a copy of the receipts and payment accounts together with information on assets and liabilities on the beginning and ending of the year. So I'll write the receipts and payments structure. Receipts and payments. Okay. Okay. With bank balance, this is the balance on the first Goresh Tanga, okay? That's 524. We have subscriptions received. So for subscriptions received, in 2005, we have the ones in arrears. That's 1,400. Then in 2006, we have 14,350. Then 2007, with subscriptions paid in advance. That's 1,200. Then buses, we have 61,280. Then donations received, we have 800. Okay. Then we move to the payment side. We have payment for bar supplies, payment for bar supplies, that's 38,620. 38,620. Then we have wages. So for our wages, we have wages for groundsmen and assistant. Groundsman and assistant, that's 19,939. Then we have wages for barman. That's 8,624. Then we have bar expenses. For bar expenses, we have 234. Then we have repairs to stands. Repairs to stands, that's 740. 740, okay? Then we have ground upkeep. round up, keep was 1,829. Then with secretary expenses 938. With transport costs, there's 2,420. The bank, there's 6,210. So you get 79,554. This side again, you get 79,554. Okay. So additional information. Let's move to additional information. With stocking the bar, at cost, with the one for 31 405, and the other one is 31 406. So it was 4496, and the other side was 5558. Then owing for bar supplies, owing for bar supplies, owing for bar owing for bar supplies with 3924. And 4340. Then we have buy expenses owing, for buy expenses owing we have 225 and 336. Then we have transport costs, we have no figure here, and we have 265 the other side. So the other adjustments, I want you to write them down. The land and football stands were valued at 31 December 2005 at 40,000 land, then football stands 20,000. The stands are to be depreciated by 10% per annum. We move to number 3. The equipment at 31 December 2005 was valued at 2,500 and is to be depreciated at 20% per annum. The last adjustment was saying subscriptions owing by members amounted to 1,400 on 31 December 2005 and 1,750 on 31 December 2006. Now, from this information, we need to prepare our staff now. So the first thing is we need to draw a statement of affairs. So the statement of affairs will look like statement of affairs. So we are saying we fix the assets. We have land, fence, and equipment. All right. So that's 40,000. Then since that's 20,000. Then equipment that's 2,500. All right. If you add all this stuff, we get 62,500. Then we move to current assets. The current assets with stock in bar, with data for subscriptions, with cash at bank, so for stock in bar it was 4,496. Then for data subscriptions we have 1,400, and for cash at bank we have 524. If we add all this stuff we get 6,420. Now we need to list current liabilities. And our current liabilities with creditors, and we have bar expenses owed. So that was creditors is 3,294, and this is 225. If we add them, we get 3,519, and if we less from 6,420, we get 2,901. So these are the net assets. So if we say fixed assets plus net assets, we get a total of 65,401. Okay. So on the financed by section, we now say accumulated
fund, which is 65,401. Okay, this is how we do it. Now let us look at the bar trading account. Bar trading account. Now for the bar trading account, we have the sales, which is 61,280. Then we list cost of goods sold. We have opening stock, which is 4,496. We add purchases, and our purchases were 39,666. Then we get 44,162. Now we list our closing stock, and our closing stock was 5,568. Then we get 38,604. 38,604. So that is our cost of goods sold. If we less that from our sales, we get 22,626. This is our gross profit. Okay. Then we list expenses. So we list bar expenses. We get 345. Then bar wages. Bar wages 8,624. So if we add these two, we get 8,969. And if we less, we get 13,707, which is our net profit. Okay, that is how we do it for the trading account. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know at 0784 002 002. Goodbye.